welcome to you. Many thanks for finding time to be with us on the program this week. Don't forget to remain your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Lucy Lube. You are welcome. On our lineup this week, first we join Faith and our guest, Ms. Prisca Suarez, the immediate past Secretary General of the African Insurance Organization, AIO, on the CEO rendezvous for the continuation of the exclusive session where they discussed a wide range of issues that affect not just the AIO, but the insurance sector on the continent. Speaking in the course of the interview, Ms. Suarez stated that the lack of cooperation among insurance operators in Africa is responsible for the unhealthy competition and rate cutting. Do take a listen.
One of the reasons, for instance, why the unhealthy competition thrives and there is rate cutting is because people refuse to collaborate. Because if in one market, for instance, everybody agrees that on fire, for instance, we must not go below a particular rate and everybody keeps to it, then at the end of the day, everybody benefits. But unfortunately, we tend to want to think about self rather than think of the common good. I think that's one of the things affecting us.
We will also bring you a rerun of highlights from the commissioning of the multipurpose auditorium of the College of Insurance and Financial Management, aptly named NAICOM Hall, at the college campus in Ashishe Village, Ogun State. The 1,500 capacity auditorium will no doubt facilitate and enhance the training programs of not just the college, but the institutes in general. Some of the stakeholders who graced the occasion shared their thoughts. Take a listen.
Our dream is to gather again within the shortest possible time at 14 Ahmed Oligudo Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, for the commissioning of the CIN house.
The bulk of the grant received by CIN from NAICOM in the past 7 years has gone into infrastructural development of the college campus.
The auditorium will facilitate mass quality training of insurance professionals, agents, and as well provide adequate facility for conducting the CIN professional examinations. Beyond this, it is imperative to say that some of the insurance gatherings may just have found a permanent and convenient venue.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on the program. What more can I say than to urge you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the package. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
What takes your anxiety away?
Access to medical care without financial constraint.
Assurance of a cover for my car and I.
Keeping my family protected despite my low income.
Knowing that my goods are secured while in transit.
Not having to worry about the pain and the bills at the same time.
Having my investment secured.
No matter what safety means to you, we provide you with a covering to keep you and all that matters to you safe.
Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC. Anxiety away. Value assured.
Okay, now another issue around technology or digitization when you speak to insurance practitioners, not just in Nigeria, but I would say on the continent, there are issues there are always issues around regulation. I don't know, as a Secretary General of the AIO, what do you think can be done when it comes to issue of streamlining regulation to be friendly towards adoption of technology, especially when it comes to distribution of insurance products?
Well, I think some autism effort has been made in that regard, in drawing attention to it. The conference that was to hold in Nigeria last year was going to be the main topic, and it's something that also has been discussed in the past. But I think now with digital disruption the world over, I think insurers have come to realize that this is a real threat. This is something that needs to be tackled. So I think that when we talk about it and we look at, we discuss with the supervisors. Of course, you can't have a one-cap-fits-all regulation, but I think when we have a dialogue, that is the market, industry, and regulators, then I think when we get them to understand, the regulators, the situation or the need, or what the challenges are, I think then perhaps we could have the kind of regulation that will, shall I say, suit everybody, or that will encourage, all companies need to go in that area. Well, of course, especially as you mentioned, cost. We do know that we still have a lot of small companies in many countries. There has been a wave of capitalization or consolidation, which has produced much bigger companies. I think perhaps this might also lead to some form of consolidation, maybe not necessarily led by government. It could be market-led by itself, just so that, because it may be difficult for the smaller companies to operate. I don't want to say maybe to survive, but to operate profitably under the circumstances. But there is certainly need for industry and the regulators to have a dialogue, so that at least when they understand what the market needs, then they can, because everybody is working to achieve the same goal. It's difficult because, we're at different stages of sophistication, development, the interests are different. The French-speaking countries have CIMA, but I think what is important, especially now that you have quite a lot of cross-border trade, and some companies are still thinking of establishing somewhere else, it's important to see whether there is a way of harmonizing in some respects some of the laws. I think it's something that will take a lot of work, but yeah, the African Insurance Organization could spearhead talks in this regard, because it's under the umbrella of the AIO that you have regulators from the different countries and different jurisdictions coming together. So I think it would be a good idea if...
okay, because a lot of people, you mentioned CIMA, but not just that, beyond that, even for countries in the West Africa sub-region, for example, if a company leaves Nigeria to go to Ghana to set up, it's a different set of regulations and rules. So the question is, as you said, the goal is to have development of the insurance industry, and by that it also means developing Africans or Nigerians or whoever where they are. So the issue of streamlining regulation for the future of insurance business cannot be overemphasized. But I just want your thoughts, if not at the global level, because you have CIMA and well, a lot of people have also mentioned when it comes to, okay, so those within the same West Africa sub-region, why can't they?
Yes, I'm aware that about 2 or 3 years ago, the companies in the in the WICA, as West African Insurance, set up an association of supervisors in West Africa, and that could be a good platform to start to talk about, because if within the sub-region, for instance, you have I don't want to, maybe easy cross-border trade is already something, and then when you have a success story in one sub-region, others can learn from it. And, you know, it can be a gradual process. It might be while the AIO, for instance, is trying to look at it globally, the different sub-regions could also, you know, work on it. But where it's good for to have a global view is, at least there's need to look into the possibility, because a company in South Africa, for instance, that wants to go to Senegal. So there shouldn't be too much disparity between that is why it's good to have the global approach. But then definitely I would agree with you that, you know, working on a sub-regional level would be easier and faster. So you could start there and then see, you know, how it goes.
Okay, Ma, a lot of people have also mentioned the fact that unhealthy competition among companies on the continent has also impacted negatively when it comes to digitalization, because situations where in a place where they have cooperation, you can have them sharing data, for example, and that brings down the cost. Where a place where people see themselves as competitors, they cannot agree or collaborate on anything. It also makes efforts at digitalization very, very expensive. I just want your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think that would be true, because unfortunately people don't seem to realize that, I mean, you could be competitors, but there's also room for collaboration in some respects. One of the reasons, for instance, why the unhealthy competition thrives and, you know, there's rate cutting is because people refuse to collaborate. Because if in one market, for instance, everybody agrees that on fire, for instance, we must not go below a particular rate, and everybody keeps to it, then at the end of the day, everybody benefits. But unfortunately, we tend to want to think about self rather than think of the common good. I think that's one of the things affecting us.
Okay, Ma, what is the future of the AIO vis-a-vis the insurance industry on the continent, as you see?
The AIO has come a long way. It's going to be 50 years old pretty soon. And I think that the AIO still has a role to play in the insurance industry. I think more and more people are beginning to realize that there's benefit in coming together and working together. And I think the AIO is doing everything possible to continue to remain relevant, look at the needs of the sector, and, you know, work towards achieving some goals towards developing the sector further. So I believe that the future for the AIO is bright. I don't think there's a replacement for the AIO.
Okay, now let's bring it down to you. So in your farewell email, you said something that made me very jealous.
I remember.
So let me come. So let me read just a little bit of the part that made me jealous.
Okay.
You said, as I live, I do so with mixed feelings. However, I'm comforted in the knowledge that I can count on at least a friend in not less than 32 African countries and can feel at home should I decide to travel to any of these countries. That makes me very, very jealous.
Oh
Not
dear.
everyone
Has traveled to so many countries.
So many countries. Okay, so real quick, I want to put you on the spot. If you are, of all the countries that have hosted the AIO conference, live seminar, the Reinsurance Forum, Nigeria Inclusive, which one stands out for you? Like if you are asked right now to jump on the plane, which of these countries would be your go-to place? No politics.
Faith, don't get me to trouble with my friends. No, to be honest, there are many countries that I would want to go to. Like I say, come. You know, there are many countries. When I said that, I can count at least one friend in any of those at least 32 countries. I meant it because in the course of my 13 years at the African Insurance Organization, I've come in contact, I've had to work and interact with people from so many countries. And in most of them, working with them was, I mean, it's a challenge, but working with them, most of them, it was really, at the end of the day, a delight because we worked well together and we achieved success in what we were doing. So it's, to be honest, it's really difficult for me to say this one. And then, of course, the other thing is that I know that I could call a few, but then I know that your program is watched all over. So if I mention some and I happen to leave one out, maybe when I decide to travel to that country, they won't have me. So, but
okay, so you pass. Okay, I'll let you pass. Okay, so looking back, are there things you look back as Secretary General of the AIO and you say, oh, if I had 1 more year or 2 more years in office, I would have done this? Is there anything you look back and say?
There's a lot to be done. There has been a lot to be done at the AIO Secretariat, and there still will be a lot to be done. If I was to say, if I had 1 more year, I think then I'll probably have ended up with that syndrome that we all complain about, sit tight, head of there's a lot, but well, I leave the members to rate, to say, you know, how well they think what we achieved during my tenure as Secretary General. But I think one of those things that probably I would like, or maybe I thought, okay, perhaps, I know it would have taken more than 1 year, or maybe more than 1 term, is to get our government to understand that we need to, I wouldn't say protect the local industry as such, but to ensure that foreigners do not come in and take business that we can do, which is the issue of the premium flight that I talked about. As I said, unfortunately, the pandemic prevented us from taking it further, but then it's something that's going to go on. And you know, it's something that will take some time. So even if I had another term, we may not have achieved it. I'm grateful to have spent 13 years.
That's good. I'd like to say a very big thank you to you for finding time to talk to us on the program. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Faith, for having me.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlights from the commissioning of the college auditorium named NAICOM Hall at the College of Insurance and Financial Management. The National Insurance Commission has consistently supported the college, not just financially, but they also collaborate with the college to meet the human capital development needs of the industry through various training programs. Happy viewing.
College of Insurance and Financial Management was established in 2006 by the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIIN, but commenced operations in 2010. With a mission to provide insurance training of global standards to meet industry's requirements for today and tomorrow. Since the college commenced operations, the Council of the CIIN and the Board of the College of Insurance have been committed to infrastructural development at the college campus in Asheshe Village, Ogun State. Stakeholders within and outside the insurance industry recently gathered at the College of Insurance campus to commission the 1,500 seating capacity auditorium aptly named NAICOM Hall. In his opening remarks, the President and Chairman of Council of the CIIN, Sir M.O. Oyegule, implored the management of the college to put the new auditorium to good use.
This auditorium, however, will facilitate numerous training programs and continue to promote the insurance industry educational initiatives. My appeal is that the management of the college should be very creative in ensuring that potentials of the NAICOM Hall are maximized. Our Commissioner, let me thank you and members of your board for gracing this occasion and accepting to commission this auditorium. We, however, appeal that the existing cooperation and partnership between our bodies will continue to work stronger for the benefit of our industry.
Since operations began at the College of Insurance and Financial Management, they have entered into strategic alliance with notable organizations such as the ILO, GIZ, and Actuaries Without Borders. In his brief remarks before the official commissioning of the auditorium, the Commissioner for Insurance, Mr. Sunday Thomas, stated that the Commission is open to new ideas and reforms that are in line with international best practices.
The Commission is open to new ideas and shall continue to introduce new reforms and initiatives in line with international best practices that will strengthen our institutions. It is imperative to note that under the current dispensation in the Commission, human capital development anchored on relevant upscaling of skills, digitalization, and product innovation, efficient and effective service delivery remain our strategic focus. On this premise, ladies and gentlemen, several initiatives have been designed by the Commission to facilitate attainment of the strategic focus, which will redefine the future of Nigerian insurance market.
With the speeches taken, dignitaries were led by Professor Musa Balarabe, assisted by the Commissioner for Insurance for the commissioning and unveiling of the auditorium.
So on behalf of my chairman, I declare this open.
Round of applause. To the glory of God and the benefit of humanity, I have the single honor to unveil the flag and declare this edifice open in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, round one. Amen. Round of applause.
Yes.
To the glory of God and the use of humanity. Amen.
Thereafter, guests were taken on a tour of the multipurpose auditorium. The College of Insurance and Financial Management is a full-fledged college that provides in-depth training in insurance, financial management, marketing, and other related fields.
That's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Do join us again, same time, same station next week for a fresh package. In the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to keep a date with us on our flagship radio program, Waiting Insurance They Do Serve, on Nigeria FM 102.7, live every Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. My name is Lucy Lugbe. Until next time, from the entire team, it's goodbye. And please stay safe.